Urban Artificial Intelligence, strategic thinking media platform. Y'all, I got something here that I'm gonna need help with. All right. I'm y'all know I'm the first to say when I don't know it all, when I'm confused, when I'm perplexed, that is the situation with this Ynw Bortlen plea deal. I don't know. I can't explain this, man. I'm gonna need help for people who know more than me about stuff like this. Y'all gonna have to get in the comments and help me out because Ynw Bortlen did take a plea deal. All right, we know that. That was confirmed. But this is unlike any other plea deal that I've seen from a rapper, from anybody in the public eye, because it's such little information about the plea deal. All right. It's a lot of questions surrounding the plea deal. All right. And like I say, I've never seen anything like this with these types of circumstances. Everybody from 1090 Jake to DJ Academics to King AK-47, Seti Nash, the Game Spitter. All these people have either admitted they was wrong or they flat out just don't know if Ynw Bortlen is telling. This is crazy. This is kind of unprecedented with how famous Ynw Melly is. Obviously, that's the main rapper that people are questioning about. How much time they was facing. I think Bortlen facing like 5 life sentences. And so when he took the plea deal, of course, everybody said, "Oh, he telling." But his lawyer said he wasn't. There was another lawyer who was, an expert on cases like this, who came out and kind of, went crazy and called him a rat and all this. The lawyer walked back what he said about. He actually was like, you know what? I may have been wrong. He may not be telling. How this is possible, y'all, I don't know. Get in the comments and let me know how taking a plea deal is not telling. And I'm not being sarcastic, because when you look at the case, he hasn't really admitted anything that's going to hurt Ynw Melly yet. All right, yet. Again, I'm not hoping that he's telling. This is just a super unique plea deal. We even heard the judge say, I don't know how your lawyers did this. And what he meant by that was he don't know how his lawyers and the prosecution, how his lawyers got the prosecution to agree to a plea deal like this, where it's basically you getting a whole lot of time cut, you getting time served, and you don't have to testify, and you not gonna, be labeled a rat. Usually when you take a plea deal, one of those things usually happen. I've never seen a case where it didn't until now. If this is the type of stuff that you went to, I know a lot of people don't care about this, but if this is the type of stuff that you went to, this is a crazy situation. And he pled NOLO. NOLO in this situation is different. I've seen people get in the comments and they're like, well, they're comparing a NOLO here to like a NOLO in like a traffic violation. That's completely different, y'all. And I got into a back and forth with somebody about that. That's completely fucking different. If you are, and I'm just give you a quick example. If I'm driving a car and I plead NOLO to something, that's different from a case pleading NOLO in a case like this. If I'm driving and I run a red light, I can plead NOLO because if the camera catches me in an intersection, there could be reasons why I'm in an intersection that are outside of my control. Maybe the car in front of me stopped in the intersection and then they clogged up traffic and I got caught in the middle. The camera timing could be off. It could be a malfunction with the camera. You're basically saying, I'm not saying I'm innocent. I'm not saying I'm guilty. It's a possibility that I could be guilty, but I'm not saying I'm guilty. That's how it works with traffic situations. With a murder, you can't do that. You can't say, well, I might have killed the nigga, but I don't know. Maybe I did. Maybe you can't do that. The NOLO in this situation is just for semantics, y'all. He's gonna get he's gonna get the same. He's basically gonna get found guilty of what he's admitting to. So him pleading NOLO is not like he's gonna it's just NOLO all across the board. Like I don't know what happened. Like you can't. It's not the same. Do y'all get what I'm trying to say? It's not the same. People were saying people plead NOLO all the time with. It's different with traffic. It's different. It's different. I could be speeding, and my speedometer on my dashboard could malfunction. And I could play at NOLO. Well, I was speeding, but it's the reason why. I don't know how fast I was going, but there is a possibility that I was going faster than the speed limit. That's a NOLO plea. You can't do that with a murder. You can't say, well, I maybe I did kill the nigga, maybe I didn't. It's a possibility I could have killed him, but it's different. He's pleading NOLO for the verbiage, but the judge still will see him as guilty to what the prosecution agreed to, because he's gonna do that time. If you plead NOLO in a traffic situation, you could get out of it without getting any points or without going to jail. He's gonna do the time. So the whole NOLO shit, y'all have to. It's different. It's two different type of NOLO pleas. All right. So that's the first thing I want to say about that. But still, this is an extremely unique situation. Because y'all can get in the comments and let me know. Obviously, we have to wait because he does. This is a proffer, so he is going to admit to something. How he can admit to being guilty of something without implicating Ynw Melly, I don't know how he's gonna pull this off. He's very confident. He sent some messages out via social media, basically talking about how he not telling. From what I hear, from what I see, Ynw Melly people aren't calling him a rat. So he hasn't given up any information yet. He got the deal without giving up information. Now, when the case continues, he will have to give some type of information. What the paperwork saying, what his lawyer said, is that all this information that he's given up will be him admitting things that he did. Cool. That makes sense. But if he admits to being the last person to see Ynw Sack Chaser, Ynw Juvie alive, I don't see how that don't hurt Melly. Get in the y'all. I'm asking y'all because I'm generally confused. Let me know what he can say that won't implicate Ynw Melly. Because once he says something that insinuates that him and Ynw Melly was the last person to see Sack Chaser and Juvie alive, that's telling on Ynw Melly. Is it not? I'm asking y'all. I'm not calling Bortlen a rat. I'm not saying he's snitching. I'm saying, how is that not telling? I'm literally asking y'all. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to figure this out. I ain't never seen nothing like this before. I've never seen a proffer where it don't involve your co-defendant. How is that even possible? If y'all was both allegedly at the same place at the same time. If Ynw Melly argument was that he wasn't there, that would be different. But if I'm not mistaken, he already admitted to being in the car. Let me know if I got this case wrong, because this happened a long time ago, y'all. This was a long time ago. So I could be off with some stuff. But he already admitted to being in the car. The argument is when he exited the car. Allegedly, they were alive when he exited the car. And in Bortlen's proffer, it says that it's like tampering with a witness, and it's something like allegedly crime after the fact. It's like, okay, after what fact? How can you admit to what you did without saying Ynw Melly was there with you? I don't know how this is going to be possible, man. Y'all get in the comments and let me know. This is crazy. This is his lawyers are going to be fucking looked at as superhuman if he can get off on this, because he is going to get time served. And he's sentenced to 10 years. And he got to do 6 on probation. So that means this nigga could be out in 4 or 5 years for a double murder. Allegedly a double murder. I don't know if he did it or not. But that's gonna be incredible. Obviously, RIP to Sack Chaser and Juvie. Not cool that they lost their lives. RIP to those dudes. But I'm just talking about from a law standpoint. If they can get him home in 5 years from a double murder, that seems impossible. That's what I'm trying to say. That seems impossible, but that looks like what's going to happen. Now, we got to wait for the proffer to see specifically what he's going to say. But like I said, nobody from YNW Melly's side is calling him a rat. No, I don't see it. If y'all see it, let me know. I don't see anybody calling him a rat. He hasn't leaked any sensitive information. It would be out if he did, y'all. It would be out. Trust me. This case has been going on for a long time. We would know. And if they all were supposedly in the car at the same time, Bortlen is admitting guilt in some way, shape, or form. Because with this plea, he's going to have 2 charges of first-degree murder dropped. That is crazy. That's crazy. It's going to be a no-low plea. And he's gonna plead to accessory to after the fact witness tampering and using a communication device unlawfully. Who's on the other side of the communication device? To me, it would only be one other person, and that's YNW Melly. So if he's admitting to using a communication device unlawfully, whoever he's talking to is doing something unlawfully too, right? And you're essentially saying you and that person were doing something unlawfully. I don't want this video to sound like I'm hoping that he tells, because I'm not. I hope he can wag this. I'm always in support of that. If you listen to my content about YSL, all the shit people talk about YSL, they wagged, in my opinion. A lot of them niggas was committing crimes, y'all. They all free, though. Ain't one of them in jail. Or the guys who did the murder outside the wedding, of course, they were never going to get out. But I'm talking about the active members who got picked up with Young Thug. The dudes who killed the white man at that wedding, they was cooked and booked a long time ago. And that really didn't have nothing to do with YSL. They was probably just broke trying to make some money. But the central figures of YSL, they free. Yak free, Gunner free, Thug free, Woody free, Mondo free. They wagged. They wagged and tagged. All right, so it can happen, and I'm for that. I would rather be talking about them all getting released. This is just such a groundbreaking proffer. This is such a groundbreaking plea agreement that I'm confused. I'm in shock. I don't know what to think. If y'all know, get in the comments and let me know, man. Urban Artificial Intelligence, Strategic Thinking Media Platform. I'm going to see y'all in the next episode. Peace.